If you have been feeling empty lately, this message may explain more than you think. Maybe you still pray, but it feels like nothing happens. Maybe you open your Bible, but the words do not hit your heart the way they used to. Maybe you sit alone for a moment and feel this strange silence inside you. Deep down, one question keeps bothering you. Why would God allow this? Why would God let you feel empty, tired, disconnected, and dry? Most people think the answer is simple. They think if you feel empty, it must mean you are doing something wrong. They think it means you are weak, far from God, or losing your faith. But what if that is not the real reason? What if this empty feeling is not proof that God has left you? What if it is one of the ways God gets your attention when your soul has been running on the wrong things for too long? Because sometimes God allows emptiness when nothing else can wake us up. Sometimes life gets so full that the soul gets ignored. Your schedule is full. Your mind is full, your phone is full, your day is full, but your heart is empty. And that is the scary part. You can be busy and still be empty. You can be productive and still be empty. You can smile in front of people and still feel empty when the room gets quiet. So when that feeling starts rising, most people do one thing. They try to fill it fast. They fill it with noise. They fill it with entertainment. Fill it with scrolling. They fill it with work. Fill it with people. They fill it with anything that helps them avoid sitting still long enough to face what is really happening inside. But the problem is this: what you use to cover emptiness cannot heal emptiness. And maybe that is exactly why God allows it to remain for a while, not because He wants to hurt you, not because He enjoys watching you struggle, but because as long as false things keep making you feel okay, you may never look for what is real. Sometimes emptiness is how God shows you that what you were leaning on cannot hold you anymore. Maybe you were leaning on routine. Maybe you were leaning on people. Maybe you were leaning on success. Maybe you were leaning on feelings. Maybe you were leaning on a version of faith that looked strong on the outside but had been slowly getting cold on the inside. And when those things stop working, the emptiness becomes impossible to ignore. That does not always mean God is far away. Sometimes it means He is exposing what was never enough to begin with. Think about how people usually imagine closeness with God. They imagine strong feelings. They imagine instant peace. They imagine powerful prayers, emotional worship, clear answers, and obvious direction. But real faith is not built only in moments like that. Real faith is also built in silence, in waiting, in weakness, in dry seasons, in moments when you do not feel much, but you still choose to stay. That is where faith becomes real. Because anyone can feel close to God when life is easy and the heart is full of emotion. But when the feelings are gone, when the excitement is low, when the silence is heavy, and you still turn to Him, that is a deeper kind of trust. That is one reason God may allow emptiness. He may be moving you from emotional faith to steady faith. There is another reason too. Sometimes emptiness reveals what has been draining you. You may think your biggest problem is spiritual, but part of the problem may be that you are exhausted, mentally exhausted, emotionally exhausted, physically exhausted. Sometimes people think every dry season means they are under attack or being punished, when in reality, they have been carrying too much for too long. Pressure can drain you. Stress can drain you. Constant comparison can drain you. Trying to please everyone can drain you. Trying to hold yourself together all the time can drain you. And after a while, the soul starts feeling numb. So when you feel empty, do not only ask, "What is wrong with my faith?" Also ask, "What has been draining my soul?" That question matters. Because sometimes emptiness is not just about sin. Sometimes it is also about overload. Sometimes your spirit is weak because your whole life has been out of balance. And here is something else people do not talk about enough. Sometimes God allows emptiness because He is teaching you not to worship feelings. This part is important. If your faith only feels strong when you feel inspired, then your feelings are leading your faith. And feelings change fast. Some days you feel hopeful. Some days you feel cold. Some days you feel confident. Some days you feel lost. If your relationship with God depends only on how you feel that day, you will always be unstable. Sometimes God allows a season where feelings become quiet, so you can learn how to trust Him for who He is, not just for how a moment feels. That kind of faith is stronger. That kind of faith lasts longer. That kind of faith does not fall apart every time emotions change. And maybe that is what God is building in you right now. Not a loud faith, not a fake faith, a real one. A faith that keeps praying even when prayer feels hard. A faith that keeps showing up even when the heart feels slow. A faith that says, God, I do not fully understand this season, but I am not walking away. That kind of faith grows in empty places. And yes, sometimes emptiness can also be a warning. Sometimes it is God showing you that you have slowly drifted, that your attention has been somewhere else, that your hunger for Him has been replaced by other things. But even then, emptiness is not the end. It is an invitation to come back. It's an invitation to be honest. It's an invitation to stop pretending everything is fine. It's an invitation to return to God with a real heart instead of perfect words. You do not need a perfect speech. You do not need to sound deep. You do not need to act strong. Sometimes the most honest prayer is the most powerful one. God, I feel empty. God, I feel tired. God, I do not know what is happening inside me. God, I need you. That is enough to begin. Because God is not scared of your emptiness. He is not scared of your weakness. He is not shocked by your confusion. He already sees it all, and He still wants you near. So if you feel empty right now, do not panic. Do not assume the worst. Do not rush to numb it with noise. Sit with the question. What is this emptiness trying to show me? Maybe it is showing you that you have been spiritually dry. Maybe it is showing you that you have been emotionally worn out. Maybe it is showing you that you have been feeding your mind all day and starving your soul. Maybe it is showing you that you have been depending on things that can no longer carry you. And maybe more than anything, it is showing you that only God can fill the part of you that nothing else can reach. That is why God may allow emptiness, because emptiness can uncover the truth. Emptiness can break false comfort. Emptiness can expose hidden hunger. Emptiness can bring you back to what matters most. So no, your emptiness does not always mean God has left you. Sometimes it means He is calling you deeper. Sometimes it means He is removing what cannot satisfy you. Sometimes it means He is slowing you down before your soul breaks even more. Sometimes it means He is teaching you to trust Him in a deeper way. And sometimes the season you fear the most becomes the season that changes you the most. So if you are in that place right now, remember this. Feeling empty does not mean your story is over. Feeling empty does not mean God is done with you. Feeling empty does not mean you are forgotten. It may be the very place where real healing starts. It may be the place where your faith stops being a habit and becomes real again. And it may be the place where you finally discover that God is still with you, even in the silence.